Alrighty. Um, so I wrote a poem. This poem is about well, it happens to be about the singer David. And I'm gonna read it to y'all. So let's go for it. All right. Cool. Words have power. A phrase that not much resonate with. A phrase that is stricken as exaggeration instead of gospel. A phrase that if one does not hear, listen, abide, could be the cause of one's demise. This is David. Formal name, David Burke. Once a singer, now a killer. Once a streamer, now a killer. Once a proclaimed lover, now a nigga that sits and stares at the horrid walls within his cell. His mind continues to further expand into a state of confliction. His mind is conflicted. He did once say that he might have a screw loose. The dirty secrets reveal what's really true. Where'd it go wrong? He says. His face appears to be unstruck, but beneath those eyes lie a whole nother slate of lies. My life is gonna be nothing but looking into the abyss of the caged sky. Petals to thorns. How shall I sleep well when now she is always here with me? Greed. Greed is a motherfucker. And I don't mean solely based on the fact of financial gain, but the greed that lies within the spirit. The greed that lives side by side to the very essence of who we are, the one that breaks, the one that builds. Voice of gold now turns to a voice of a ghost, worthless king. Riches to rags, back to that state of reminiscence, forever stuck within the space of you and I. I did what I did, but you're still here with me. Fuck. We saw the darkness within his mind from the jump. And we applauded. Such eerie words for someone who looked so innocent. The greed amplified his thirst. Those intruder thoughts lingered and lingered. Consumption of self, thirst of flesh, later turned to greed of flesh. Dog's thirst was satisfied, but his soul remained in question. Now he sits in a pair of orange overalls, skin withered, lacking that thirst. Oh, where has the invisible string led me, he says. Words have power. Power leads to greed. Greed leads to a damn romantic homicide. Or maybe just an unrequited homicide. Be aware. Words have power. All right, but for real though, yeah, so that was, obviously that's, what brought me to write this was simply just, obviously the stuff that is occurring within the media in regards to David, the singer. Prior to all this occurring, like 8 months ago since the news broke, I didn't know much about bro. I've obviously, seen him through social media because, he's popping. But as far as me gravitating towards his music or just him as a sort of personality, it was something that never really, resonated with. So me delving into, after hearing the stories, the story that's happening and stuff like that, it's like the first time of me like delving into his stuff. A few takeaways. For one was just, how could one do this? What brings a person to this point? Especially a person of status or so much access, and not saying that's like an excuse or a sort of like a cope or cop out, because regardless of status, some sort of superior status or just a standard status. Like regardless, what you do has consequences, right? And what's wrong is wrong. But it does make you think like, yo, dude, like you had the world in your hands, you know, so much influence, so much value that you're bringing to lives all around the world. So much, I don't know, just talent, and all that to be thrown away because, for one, I guess, you know, the desires of the flesh, right? The more and more stuff that is being revealed in regards to the case, the more and more you kind of like realize something was just not right here. And I guess this is another reason as to why, you know, I guess, you know, what brought me to write this was, for one, trying to, you know, challenge myself in a way, you know, making me think from the perspective of this guy, you know, even though that's kind of odd to put myself in the headspace of bro, but like, but also just trying to, you know, come to the conclusion that, you know, we got to stop idolizing these people we see online, right? Like, it's we can always appreciate them from afar, appreciate their artistry, appreciate their talent, their words, etc. But taking that with a grain of salt, you know, and not because you see it with all sorts of communities, but specifically this one, right when the news broke, almost like, feels like almost a year ago, people are like immediately go into defense of like, oh no, there's no way he would do it, he would do it. And low-key me, I was kind of like on that same field of like, oh man, I just don't see it. How? Acting like I'm like someone in his inner circle, like who knows, bro, and I don't. My only perception of him was just some goofy dude who sings on the internet. You know, there's a very good chance that this man could end up gone. like bro's younger than me, 2 years younger than me. It's just wild. But all this to say, you know, it's just be aware, you know. Just please be aware. I know this is just more of like a reminder to me. Be aware of the surroundings, be aware of your own behavior. What you consume, what you put out, whether you're creative, whether you're just a consumer of art, which we all are to a degree. We live in a space of creation. Just be careful in what you put out, but also be careful in what you take in. You know, and this is a reminder to me because I don't have shit figured out at all, bro. I'm 23, nigga. I don't know shit. But yeah, because like that shit, not only can it, just from an artist's perspective, it could be an extension of shit you've actually experienced and stuff like that. Or you're getting into a pattern in which you're kind of establishing yourself as this sort of type of creator. In this case, David, the very heartbroken, lovey-dovey, but kind of dark type. At some point, it's just going to become you, more or less. Like, the more shit you consume, whether it's just through pure fascination or entertainment, even though you're taking it with a grain of salt, you're like, at some point, the more you do it, it's just going to be like, fuck, I'm just this guy. It's just very unfortunate, for one, not only because of the victim at hand, the girl, very unfortunate, but it's also very unfortunate to see a talent just go to waste like that, you know? Yeah, that's really it. That's really it, man. That's it. Different type of vid. All right, be aware. We're gonna tap out.